Have you ever caught yourself saying, "My life would be different if my parents raised me differently, if I had more money, if I had better opportunities, if people understood me, if the world wasn't so unfair"? We've all been there. It feels comforting to blame circumstances, people, or luck for where we are. But here's the truth, as long as you keep blaming, you give away your power. The moment you stop blaming and start owning your story is the moment your life begins to change. Because no one else is responsible for your future. You control your story. Let me share a story. There was a young man named Chris. Chris grew up in a rough neighborhood. His father left when he was young, his mother worked 2 jobs just to survive. Teachers told him he'd never make it, friends pushed him into trouble, and by the time he was a teenager, Chris felt stuck. He blamed everything, his family, his environment, his teachers, even life itself. One night, after another fight at school, he sat down and realized something: blaming wasn't changing anything. In fact, it was keeping him in the same place. He made a decision that night: I can't control where I started, but I can control where I'm going. He began reading books at the library, studying late at night, and finding mentors. Years later, he became a successful entrepreneur, not because his circumstances changed, but because his mindset did. He stopped being a victim of his story and became the author of it. That's the lesson. You can't choose where you were born, who your parents are, or what challenges came your way. But you can choose how you respond. You can choose what you do next. That choice is your power. The moment you take ownership, you take control. But most people stay trapped in the blame game. They blame their boss for not promoting them, their partner for not supporting them, their past for holding them back. Blame feels safe because it absolves responsibility. If it's someone else's fault, you don't have to change. But here's the catch: if it's someone else's fault, you also can't fix it. The longer you blame, the longer you stay stuck. Ownership may feel uncomfortable at first, but it's also liberating. Because once you say, "This is my life, my choices, my responsibility," suddenly you have the power to change. Think about it. Life is like a book. You didn't write the opening chapters, you didn't choose your family, your childhood, your early environment. But every page from this moment forward is blank, waiting for you to write it. Some people spend their whole life rereading the painful first chapters, blaming the author of their past. Others pick up the pen and start writing the future they want. Which one will you be? Here's what happens when you start owning your path. First, you stop wasting energy on excuses. Excuses drain you. They give you reasons to stay where you are. But when you own your story, you redirect that energy into action. Second, you build resilience. Life will always throw obstacles at you: failure, rejection, hardship. Blaming makes you weak. Ownership makes you strong. Third, you inspire others. People admire those who rise above circumstances. By owning your path, you become proof that change is possible. Let me give you an example. Oprah Winfrey grew up in poverty, faced abuse, and had every reason to blame her past. But she chose ownership. She built her career step by step, turning pain into power. Today, she inspires millions not because her story was perfect, but because she took control of it. On the other hand, many people with far fewer obstacles remain stuck, not because they can't move forward, but because they refuse to own their story. It doesn't mean you ignore injustice, trauma, or challenges. It means you refuse to let them define your ending. You acknowledge the pain, but you decide it's not the final chapter. You control the pen. So how do you stop blaming and start owning? Step 1 is awareness. Notice when you hear yourself saying, "I can't because of them, because of this, because of my past." That's blame speaking. Step 2 is to shift the question. Instead of, "Whose fault is this?" ask, "What can I do about it?" That one question takes you from victim to author. Step 3 is action. Ownership means doing something, even if it's small. Even if it's messy. Action proves you're in control. Step 4 is persistence. Blame keeps you stuck in the past. Ownership keeps you moving toward the future. You won't rewrite your story in one day. But every day you take action, you're writing a new chapter. Now here's your task. For the next 30 days, every time you catch yourself blaming, pause and ask, what can I do right now to take ownership? Write it down. Maybe you blame your job for your unhappiness, so you take ownership by applying for new roles or building skills. Maybe you blame your health for holding you back, so you take ownership by walking for 10 minutes a day. Maybe you blame your past for your pain, so you take ownership by starting therapy, journaling, or building better habits. Whatever it is, act. Ownership is a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it gets. Let me give you another story. A woman named Maya spent years blaming her childhood for her struggles with relationships. She'd say, I can't trust people because of how I was raised. That story held her hostage. One day, she decided to flip the script. She said, yes, my childhood hurt me. But my future is mine. She started reading books on healing, joined support groups, and did the hard work of rebuilding trust. It wasn't easy, but slowly her relationships transformed. The past was real, but it no longer dictated her future. She became the author of her story. That's the power you have. You can't change the beginning, but you can always change the ending. Your story isn't finished until you decide it is. And yes, ownership is scary. It means you can't hide behind excuses anymore. It means if you want a different life, you have to do the work. But that's also the beauty of it. Because it means you're not trapped. You're not powerless. You're not a victim of fate. You are in control. So ask yourself right now. Are you living a story written by blame or a story written by ownership? If nothing changes, if you keep blaming, where will you be in 5 years? And if you start owning today, if you take control, where could you be? The difference is massive. And it starts with one decision: stop blaming. Start owning. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, remember this: the pen is in your hand. You control your story. Don't waste another day letting someone else write it for you. If this resonates with you, I want you to take the 30-day ownership challenge. For 1 month, replace blame with ownership. Every time you catch yourself saying, I can't because, rewrite it into, I will because. Track it. Live it. And watch how your story shifts. Then share your experience in the comments. I'd love to hear how you're taking control. And if you want more videos like this, real talk, practical tools, and encouragement to help you step into your power, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because this channel is about more than inspiration. It's about giving you the courage to own your path and rewrite your future. Remember, your past is a chapter, not the whole book. You control your story. Stop blaming. Start owning. And write the life you were meant to live.